Dear cadets, how are you? This is again Abdullah Mahmood. Today we are going to discuss some formal topics from algebra. Although still we are not going to deal with actual formal syllabus, but we are starting. Today's main topic is why a negative times a negative is a positive, and this will be supplemented by how multiplication works and does multiplication always increase a quantity. So let's see. At first, see some rules which you already know. Positive times positive equal to positive, that is a positive number multiplied by another positive number gives us a positive number. Maybe you call this like this: plus multiplied by a plus number is positive, which you may call in Bengali plus a plus a plus, plus a minus. And again, also you know this rule: negative times negative is positive, negative times positive is negative. And there is a question, why a negative number multiplied by another negative number gives us a positive number. We'll discuss this. But before this, let's see how you can easily remember the rule. Positive times positive is positive. Let's consider this like this: a positive number is like a friend and negative number is like an enemy or a foe. So positive times positives, you can consider this like this: friend of a friend. Since positive is a friend, so positive times positive means friend of a friend, and we know that friend of a friend can be considered a friend. Again, positive times negative, it can be considered like this: friend of a foe. Since negative, so we can consider it foe or enemy. So friend of a enemy, friend of an enemy, we know friend of an enemy can be considered an enemy, so it is negative, that is an enemy. Again, negative times positive, it can be considered like a foe of a friend, that is enemy of a friend. Again, it can be considered a negative number, that is our enemy of a friend. An enemy of our friend is our enemy, so it is again negative. Again, negative times negative, it is foe of a foe, that is enemy of our enemy. So enemy, someone who is enemy of our enemy, can be considered our friend in theory. Okay, this is how you can easily remember this. And see, let's see some example. 2 times 4, both are positive, so it's a positive number, and one of them is in 2 times minus 3. In this, one of them is negative, so we get a negative number. And in this, both numbers are positive negative, so we get a positive one. Now let's see how multiplication works. Actually, multiplication, when we multiply by a positive number, it stretches the number line. If you reflect on this graph or figure, this is a number line where positive numbers are rightwards of 0 and the negative numbers are to the left of 0. Now if we multiply a number by another number, so let's see, let's consider we multiply 1 by 2. This will move 1 to this position. If we multiply 1, this is actually the we start with the number 1, and then after that, if we multiply it by 2, we will be here. If we multiply 2 by 4, we start with 2, so initially we are here. Now after multiplying by 2, we are here. So multiplication stresses the number line. And what about negative multiplication? Actually, negative multiplication turns a number 180 degrees. So let's start with 2. Now if we multiply by negative 1, that is minus 1, we will be here. That is, from 2 we are going to here, minus 2, that is we turn 180 degree. If we see the angle, no, here. So if we start from 2 and multiply by minus 1, we are here now, minus 2. So negative multiplication turns us 180 degree. And now what if we multiply twice? Say we initially start with 2, and after multiplying by minus 1, we end up in here, minus 2. And again, if we multiply by another minus 1, we will be here. We will turn another 180 degree. It's like a U-turn. So maybe you consider something like this. Say if we move this direction this way, say consider this positive direction, and if we move this way, consider this negative direction, and remember that positive and negative directions are 180 degrees apart. So if we now let's say we are moving and then we turn 180 degrees, so now we are moving in negative directions. So this is 180 degrees, and now if we turn again, we are moving now again to the positive direction. So moving twice means like multiplying by a negative number twice. So this is why multiplying by negative number twice, we are again moving to the positive direction. So that's why multiplying by two negative numbers gives us a positive number. Now another question: does multiplication always increase a quantity? Let's see some examples. If we multiply 5 by 9, we get 45, which increases the number 5 and 9 both. If we multiply 1 by 5, we get 5. In this case, the number 1 does not increase. The number 1 increases, but the number 5, it does not increase. Again, if we multiply 5 by -4, we get -20. So -20, but -20 is less than 5, so 5 is not increased. Again, if we multiply 0.5 by 2, that means half. 0.5 is half, so we get half times 2, and that is 1. So if we multiply 2, we started with 2 and multiplied it by 0.5, but we have now 1, which is less than 2, so multiplication does not always increase a number. Actually, when we multiply a number by 1, it doesn't increase at all, it stays remains same. And if we multiply some number by a number which is less than 1, then our result will be less than the initial number, like this. So thus multiplication can do three things: increase a number, decrease a number, and retains original number. And let's consider another thing: area is smaller than length. This example is an application of our previous slide. Say length of a garden is 2 meter and width of the garden is 0.5 meter. Now what is its area? It's very simple: 2 times 0.5, so we get 1 meter square. Now the length of the garden was 2 meter and the width is 0.5, but area is 1 meter, which is less than 2. Now you may wonder why the area is smaller than the length. Actually, you cannot consider length with area, because the unit of length is meter and the unit of area is meter square. You cannot compare meter with meter square. You cannot compare another unit with some other unit. For example, you cannot compare, say you have 20 mangoes and someone else has 20 lychees or 25 lychees. You cannot say that my amount of fruits is greater than his amount. Actually, maybe although you have only 20 mangoes, your food items, your weight of your food or volume of your fruits may be greater than someone else's. So this is because you cannot compare one unit with some other unit. This is why actually these two cannot be compared with this one, although the number compared without the units can seem that 2 is the length is greater than the area. Actually, the both these two quantities cannot be compared. So this concludes our today's discussion, and in today's discussion we have no task. In future we will start actual formal discussion and we'll give you some tasks. So thank you for today. See you later.